Have you ever been treated like the family ATM just because you have a good job? Have you ever had relatives automatically assume you'll pay for everything because you can afford it? Well, this is my story. And I guarantee that when I itemized every plate at our $6,200 Christmas dinner and showed my family exactly how much I'd been subsidizing their lifestyle, their faces told the whole story. My name is Amanda. I'm 31 years old, and I'm a certified public accountant who owns a small accounting firm. For the past 8 years, I've been the family's unofficial financier, paying for birthdays, holidays, emergencies, and celebrations because I make more money than my siblings. To my mother Carol and my siblings Michael and Jessica, I'm not Amanda the successful businesswoman. I'm Amanda the walking wallet who should be grateful to help family. What they didn't know was that I had been keeping meticulous records of every dollar I'd spent, and that this Christmas dinner would be the last time they treated me like their personal bank account. This story begins 3 weeks before Christmas, when my family started planning what would become the most expensive holiday meal of my life. Amanda, we need to talk about Christmas dinner. My mother called me on a Tuesday evening. Sure, Mom, what's the plan? Well, we want to do something really special this year. Michael's new girlfriend will be joining us, and Jessica just got engaged, so we want to celebrate. That sounds nice. What did you have in mind? We're thinking of having it catered by Bella Vista. You know, that upscale Italian place downtown. I knew Bella Vista. Their catering started at about $80 per person, and that was for their basic menu. Mom, that's going to be expensive. How many people are we talking about? Let's see. You, me, your father, Michael and his girlfriend, Jessica and her fiancé, plus your Aunt Linda and Uncle Bob. So 8 people. Okay, so we're looking at maybe $600 to $800 for catering. Well, we also want to get some nice wine, maybe some appetizers, decorations, ... How much are we talking about total? I don't know exactly, but don't worry about it, honey. You always take care of Christmas. There it was. You always take care of Christmas. Not would you like to contribute to Christmas, or can we split the cost of Christmas? Just the automatic assumption that I would pay for everything, Mom. Maybe this year we could split the costs. Everyone's working now. Amanda, you know your brother and sister don't make as much as you do, but they're both adults with jobs. Michael's 35 and Jessica's 28. Honey, you have your own business. You can afford it. That doesn't mean I should have to pay for everything. Amanda, what's gotten into you? You've never complained about helping family before. I'm not complaining about helping. I'm suggesting that everyone help. Well, I'll talk to the others. But you know how tight money is for everyone right now. Money was tight for everyone except me. Apparently. To understand why this conversation was so frustrating, you need to know the history of my role as the family financier. It started about 8 years ago, right after I got my CPA license and started my accounting firm. I was doing well financially, not rich, but comfortable. My siblings were both struggling a bit. Michael was between jobs, and Jessica was working part-time while finishing college. Amanda, my mother, had said back then, since you're doing so well, maybe you could help with Jessica's graduation party. It seemed reasonable. I was successful. Jessica was my sister, and graduation was a big deal, so I paid for the party about $800. Amanda, my mother said a few months later, Michael's birthday is coming up, and we want to do something nice. Could you help out? Again, it seemed reasonable. Family helps family, right? So I paid for Michael's birthday dinner, about $400. Amanda, my mother said at Thanksgiving, since you're hosting, maybe you could handle the groceries this year. I was hosting because I had the biggest house, so it made sense that I'd pay for the food, about $300. And so it went, year after year. Every holiday, every birthday, every celebration became my financial responsibility, not because anyone asked if I wanted to pay, just because everyone assumed I would. The amounts got bigger over time. Jessica's engagement party, $1,200. Michael's housewarming, $900. Mom and Dad's anniversary dinner, $1,500. And it wasn't just special occasions. There were the emergencies too. Amanda, Jessica's car broke down and she needs $800 for repairs. Amanda, Michael's rent is due and he's short $600. Amanda, your father needs dental work and insurance won't cover it all. Every time, the request came with the same underlying message. You have money, they need money. Family helps family. But here's what bothered me most. It was never presented as a loan. It was always presented as my obligation. And when I occasionally suggested that maybe others could contribute, I was made to feel selfish. Amanda, you know we'd help if we could afford it. Amanda, not everyone is as fortunate as you. Amanda, family doesn't keep score. But I was keeping score. As an accountant, I keep track of everything, and over the past 5 years, I had spent 43,000 on familievensenderm, Missipling-Trodentrub, 2,800. 3 days after my conversation with Mom about Christmas dinner, she called me back. Amanda, I talked to Michael and Jessica about splitting the Christmas costs. Great. What did they say? Well, they're both a little hurt that you'd ask them to pay. Hurt, yes. They feel like you single quotes read ... changing, like success has made you less generous. Mom, asking people to pay for their own dinner isn't ungenerous. But you've always taken care of Christmas. It's become a tradition. A tradition that only benefits everyone else. Amanda, that's not fair. We all contribute in our own ways. How do Michael and Jessica contribute? Well, Jessica always brings dessert, store-bought cookies that cost $12, and Michael helps set up. He moves chairs around for 20 minutes. Amanda, not everything is about money. You're right, Mom, but when I'm spending thousands of dollars and everyone else is spending tens of dollars, it becomes about money. So what are you saying? You won't pay for Christmas. I'm saying everyone should pay their fair share. Fine, I'll tell them we need to scale back the plans, or tell them we need to scale up their contributions. Mom hung up, clearly frustrated. 2 days later, Jessica called me. Amanda, Mom says you don't want to pay for Christmas dinner. That's not what I said. I said everyone should contribute. But you know I just got engaged. Wedding planning is expensive. Congratulations on getting engaged. But that doesn't mean I should pay for your Christmas dinner. Amanda, you're being really selfish lately. How is asking you to pay for your own meals selfish? Because you can afford it and I can't. Jessica, you work full-time and live with your fiancé. You can afford to split an $800 dinner bill. It's not just about the money, Amanda, it's about family. Exactly, it's about family, which means everyone in the family should contribute. You never used to be like this. I never used to realize how one-sided this arrangement was. Jessica hung up too. The next day, Michael called. Amanda, what's this about you not wanting to help with Christmas? I want to help. I want everyone to help. You know, I'm between jobs right now. Michael, you've been between jobs for 3 years. You're working as a freelance consultant. It's not steady income, but it is income. And you're 35 years old. So because I don't make as much as you, I don't deserve a nice Christmas. You deserve whatever Christmas you can afford to pay for. Amanda, I can't believe how selfish you've become. There was that word again, selfish. Apparently, expecting adults to pay for their own meals was selfish. Despite all the pushback, I thought maybe the family would come around to the idea of sharing costs. I was wrong. On December 23rd, my mother called with an update. Amanda, we've finalized the Christmas dinner plans. Great. What's the split going to be? Well, we decided to go ahead with the original plan. Which original plan? Bella Vista catering, premium wine selection, professional decorations, and a small jazz trio for entertainment. Mom, that's going to cost a fortune. We figured since it's Christmas, we should do something really special. How much is it going to cost? The total is $6,200. $6,200. It's going to be beautiful, Amanda. Really elegant, Mom. Who's paying for this? Well, we were hoping you would. Like always, I never agreed to pay $6,200 for Christmas dinner. Amanda, it's Christmas. Don't be a Scrooge. I'm not being a Scrooge. I'm being financially responsible. We already put down a deposit. How much of a deposit? $1.5, non-refundable. You spent $1,500 without asking me. We assumed you'd be okay with it, since you always pay for Christmas. I was speechless. They had planned a $6,200 dinner, put down a $1,500 deposit, and simply assumed I would pay for all of it. Mom, I'm not paying $6,200 for Christmas dinner. Amanda, please. Everyone's so excited. Michael's girlfriend is really looking forward to it. And Jessica wants to celebrate her engagement. Then Michael and Jessica can pay for it. You know they can't afford it. Then you shouldn't have planned something they can't afford. Amanda, please. It's Christmas. It's Christmas for me too, Mom. And I'm not spending $6,200 on one meal. What are we supposed to do? We already made commitments. You made commitments without consulting me. That's your problem to solve. Amanda, I can't believe you're doing this to your family. I'm not doing anything to my family. My family did this to themselves. That night, I made a decision. If my family wanted to play financial games, I would show them exactly what game they'd been playing. I spent the next day doing what I do best, accounting. I pulled out 5 years' worth of credit card statements, bank records, and receipts. I created a comprehensive spreadsheet documenting every dollar I had spent on family events, emergencies, and celebrations. The numbers were staggering. Year 1, $8,400, Jessica's graduation party, Michael's birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mom's birthday, Dad's birthday, Easter dinner, Jessica's car repair. Year 2, $9,200, Christmas, Michael's housewarming, Jessica's birthday, family vacation contribution, Dad's dental work, Thanksgiving, Easter. Year 3, $7,800, Christmas, Jessica's engagement party, Michael's emergency rent, Mom and Dad's anniversary, Thanksgiving, Easter, Mother's Day dinner. Year 4, $8,900, Christmas, Michael's birthday celebration, Jessica's bridal shower, family reunion costs, Thanksgiving, Easter, Father's Day dinner. Year 5, $8,700, Christmas, various emergencies, birthdays, holidays. Total over 5 years, $43,000. I also documented what my siblings had contributed during the same period. Michael's contributions, $1,400, occasional bottles of wine, 1 birthday gift from Mom. Jessica's contributions, $1,200, store-bought desserts, 1 Mother's Day gift. Total sibling contributions, $2,600. So over 5 years, I had contributed $43,000. To family event, I was funding 94% of our family's social life. But that wasn't all. I also calculated what an equitable split would have looked like. Total family expenses over 5 years, $45,600. Equitable split among 3 siblings, $15,200 each. What I actually paid, $43,000, 282% of my fair share. What Michael actually paid, $1,400, 9% of his fair share. What Jessica actually paid, $1,200, 8% of her fair share. I had been subsidizing my siblings' lifestyles to the tune of $27,800 over 5 years. Then I created a detailed breakdown of the current Christmas dinner, Bella Vista Catering, 8 people, premium menu, $2,400 wine, selection 6 bottles, premium wine, $900, professional, decorations, $800, jazz trio, 3 hours, $1,200 service fees and gratuity, $700 total. 6,000 plus 200 in miscellaneous expenses. Cost per person, $775. What each adult should pay, $775. What I was expected to pay, $6,200, 800% of my fair share. Armed with this data, I prepared for Christmas dinner. Christmas Day arrived, and so did the Bella Vista catering team. I have to admit, they did a beautiful job. The dining room looked like something out of a magazine. The food smelled incredible, and the jazz trio was setting up in the corner. My family was in great spirits, clearly excited about the elegant celebration they had planned. Amanda, my mother said as I arrived, doesn't everything look wonderful? It looks very expensive, I replied. Oh, don't worry about that today. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Actually, Mom, I think today is the perfect day to talk about it. I had brought my laptop and a small projector. While everyone was having cocktails, I set up a presentation in the living room. Before we eat, I announced, I'd like to share something with everyone. Amanda, what are you doing? Jessica asked. I'm giving a presentation. Since I'm an accountant, I thought you might be interested in some financial analysis. Can't this wait until after dinner? Michael asked. No, I think we should discuss this before we eat, especially since someone needs to pay for this meal. I turned on the projector, and my first slide appeared on the wall. Family Financial Analysis, 2019 to 2024. What is this? My mother asked. This is a comprehensive analysis of family expenses over the past 5 years, broken down by a contributor and event. My second slide showed the total contributions. Amanda, $43,000, 94.3%. Michael, $1,400, 3.1%. Jessica, $1,200, 2.6%. The room went silent. Amanda, my father said slowly, what are you trying to prove? I'm not trying to prove anything, Dad. I'm showing you what has already been proven. For 5 years, I have been subsidizing this family's lifestyle. My third slide showed the year-by-year breakdown, with detailed line items for every expense. This is ridiculous, Michael said. You can't put a price on family. Actually, I can, and I did. The price of this family, over the past 5 years, has been $43,000, paid by me. My fourth slide showed the Christmas dinner breakdown. Total cost, $6, $200 cost per person, $775 Amanda's. Expected contribution, $6,200. 800% of fair share Michael's expected contribution, $0, 0% of fair share. Jessica's expected contribution, $0, 0% of fair share. Now, I continued. Let's talk about today's dinner specifically. I clicked to my next slide, which itemized every single expense. Antipasto platter for $8, $180 Caesar. Salad for $8, $120. Buco 2 portions, $180 lobster. Ravioli 2 portions, $160. Filet mignon 2 portions, $200 chicken. Marsala 2 portions, $140 side. Dishes for varieties, $200 dessert. Course, $160 wine, 6 bottles, $900 service and setup, $400 jazz trio, $1,200 decorations, $800 gratuity, $300 total, $6,200. So, let's see, I said, looking around the room. Michael, you ordered the filet mignon, and you've had 3 glasses of the bar. That's about $350 worth of food and wine. Are you planning to pay for that? Michael's face was red. Amanda, this is embarrassing. You're right, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that a 35-year-old man expects his sister to pay for his $350 dinner. I turned to Jessica. Jessica, you ordered the lobster ravioli, and you've been drinking the Prosecco. That's about $280. Will you be covering that? Amanda, stop this, Jessica said. Stop what? Stop asking adults to pay for their own meals. I clicked to my final slide. New family financial policy. 1. All family events will have costs split equally among participants. 2. No one person will be expected to subsidize others' lifestyle choices. 3. If you can't afford to participate, you can choose not to participate. 4. Emergency assistance will be provided as loans, not gifts, with repayment terms. 5. This policy takes effect immediately. The room was dead silent except for the jazz trio, who were still playing softly in the corner. Amanda, my mother finally said, you're ruining Christmas. No, Mom. I'm saving Christmas. I'm saving it from becoming another $6,200 expense that I'm expected to absorb. We're family, Jessica said. Family doesn't charge family. You're right, Jessica. Family doesn't charge family. But family also doesn't exploit family. And expecting one person to pay for everyone else's lifestyle is exploitation. So what are you saying? Michael asked. You want us to pay you back for everything. I'm saying that going forward, everyone pays their own way. As for the past, consider it a very expensive lesson in family dynamics. And if we can't afford to pay our share, Jessica asked, then you can't afford to participate, just like any other adults in the real world. The dinner proceeded, but the atmosphere was tense. The jazz trio played, the food was excellent, and the wine was top shelf. But everyone was calculating costs in their heads. This also buco is really good, my father said, trying to lighten the mood. It should be, I replied. It costs $90 per portion. Amanda, my mother said, can't we just enjoy the meal? I am enjoying it, Mom. I'm enjoying it because I know it's the last time I'll be paying for everyone else's enjoyment. After dinner, as the catering team was cleaning up, my family gathered in the living room for what they probably hoped would be a reconciliation. Amanda, my mother began, we understand you're upset about money. I'm not upset about money, Mom. I'm upset about being taken advantage of. We never meant to take advantage of you, Jessica said. What did you mean to do? Because from my perspective, you've been treating me like a walking ATM for 5 years. We thought you were happy to help, Michael said. Did you ever ask if I was happy to help? Or did you just assume? We assumed, my mother admitted. And that's the problem. You assumed that because I make good money, I should pay for everyone else's good times. So, what happens now? My father asked. Now we split the bill for today's dinner, 8 ways. Everyone pays $775. We don't have $775, Jessica said. then you'll need to figure out a payment plan, or you can consider it a loan from me, with interest. Amanda, this is crazy, Michael said. What's crazy is that two adults in their 30s think their sister should pay for their dinner. We're family. Exactly. We're family, which means we should treat each other with respect, and expecting one person to subsidize everyone else's lifestyle isn't respectful. In the end, my parents paid their share, opening parenthesis 1,550, for both of them, closing parenthesis. Michael agreed to a payment plan for his $775. Jessica borrowed money from her fiancé to pay her share, and I paid my $775, exactly my fair share. For the first time in 5 years, 6 months later, my family's financial dynamics had completely changed. For Easter, we had a potluck dinner at my parents' house. Everyone brought something. Everyone contributed, and the total cost was about $200 split among 8 people. For Michael's birthday, we went to a mid-range restaurant and everyone paid for their own meals. For Jessica's bridal shower, the costs were split among all the female relatives, not just dumped on me. Amanda, my mother said during one of our phone calls, I want you to know that we understand now, how unfair we were being to you. We got so used to you paying for everything that we forgot you were making a choice to be generous. We started treating it like an obligation. I appreciate you saying that, Mom. Are you happier now? With the new arrangement, much happier, and I think everyone else is too, even if they won't admit it. How so? Because now when we have family events, everyone is actually invested in them. When people pay for their own meals, they appreciate them more. That's true. Michael actually researched restaurants for his birthday instead of just picking the most expensive place, and Jessica's been learning to cook so she can host events without breaking the bank. Do you think we can ever go back to the way things were? Mom, the way things were wasn't working, at least not for me. But we're still family. We're still family. But now we're family members who treat each other as equals, not as a patron and dependent. My relationship with my siblings took longer to repair. Michael was resentful for months, convinced that I had changed and become money-obsessed. Jessica was hurt that I had embarrassed her in front of her fiancé, but gradually, they came to understand that I hadn't changed. I had just stopped enabling their irresponsible financial behavior. Amanda, Jessica said to me at her wedding, which she and her fiancé paid for themselves, I want to thank you. For what? For teaching me to be financially independent. Planning this wedding myself made me realize how much I was relying on you for everything. You're welcome, and congratulations on a beautiful wedding that you should be proud of paying for. Michael took even longer to come around, but eventually he did too. Amanda, he said during Thanksgiving dinner, potluck style, $30 per family. I owe you an apology. For what? For taking advantage of your generosity for so long, and for getting angry when you stopped letting me take advantage of it. Apology accepted. I've been thinking about what you said about being adults who pay our own way. You were right. I'm glad you see it that way now. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you ever regret doing the presentation? The whole itemized breakdown thing? Never. It was the most effective $6,200 I ever spent. How do you figure? Because it cost me $6,200 to teach my family that I'm not their personal bank account, and that lesson has saved me thousands of dollars since then. Today, 3 years after the great Christmas dinner presentation, my family has a much healthier financial dynamic. We still celebrate together, but everyone contributes fairly. We still help each other in emergencies, but it's structured as loans with repayment terms. Most importantly, I'm no longer seen as the family ATM, seen as Amanda, a successful businesswoman who deserves the same financial respect as any other adult. The most important thing I learned from this experience is that generosity without boundaries becomes exploitation. When you always say yes to paying for everything, people stop asking and start expecting. When my family turned Christmas dinner into a $6,200 family tax that they expected me to pay alone, I decided to itemize every plate and show them exactly what their assumptions were costing me. The look on their faces when they saw the numbers, when they realized they had been treating me like their personal charity, was worth every penny of that expensive lesson. Sometimes, the best gift you can give your family is the gift of financial responsibility. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling the people you love to take advantage of you. My family learned that Christmas dinner isn't free just because Amanda pays for it, and I learned that being the successful one in the family doesn't mean being the only one who pays for success.